Since Game Ranks isn't doing this, someone's gotta. And we're back with another episode of Before You Buy, that show where we give you some straight up gameplay and first impressions of the latest games releasing. Today we're talking about Fairy Tail, a JRPG based on the anime and manga of the same name. It never felt like we were going to get this game after like how many delays it's had, but we finally got it in our hands. First off, the story is based around the arcs from the anime and manga, but it's kind of picked a weird point to start at because it started at the very tail end of the Tenro Island arc and it goes all the way to the Tartaros arc, which is like 3 in total. Personally, I find it a bit weird of a starting point. If your friend just told you like, hey, I really like the show, you should pick it up, try it out, whatever, you'd be probably confused right off the bat. For people that have seen the show and stuff, you're going to know what's going on, but it's still kind of a weird point to pick at, because you're kind of losing some of your emotional moments and stuff. But just the starting point, I find it is kind of weird. They really don't entirely give you backstory of what happened before then. I mean, I've seen the show, so I know what happened, but I'm saying for new people, you might have that as a problem. You might not know entirely what's happening. You might get a little confused. The game, compared to the anime / manga and stuff, a lot of moments kind of felt worse in comparison. Like, some of the more emotional moments weren't handled as well, or they didn't get the light that they should have. Yeah, a lot of the moments are a lot different. Like, music's different. In some cases, there was no music at all, or like no certain things weren't shown. Certain things, it was different. A lot of the moments within the game are handled a lot differently compared to the show and or / manga. Now, I kind of get why they set the story where they did, because then you get to build up the guild and try and be the number one guild in the sense of a gameplay perspective. So I get that, but it doesn't so much make sense in a story perspective. Another thing I could see people get bothered by is that, and I also got bothered by it as well, is that characters were like being in outfits that they weren't in during that arc. Like, for example, like the beginning of the game in Tenro Island, Gray is in his Grand Magic Games outfit, which he's in that outfit for like the whole game. Okay, a lot of people were wearing outfits that they shouldn't be wearing during those arcs. I mean, I get you can customize characters, but the character customization is not very good for skins and stuff. It's pretty darn limited. So if that bothers you, seeing characters in outfits that they're probably not supposed to be in during that story arc, that could really bother you during this game as well. If you're an English dub fan, there is none, which was disappointing for me. But I did notice a few spelling and translation errors throughout me playing. Mainly, the most obvious one was one of the guild members is named Kana, okay? So I don't know how you could misspell something so simple. But yeah, I noticed a couple people had their names spelled wrong and a couple translation errors. So if that bothers you as well, that could be a problem. Gameplay wise, I think it's pretty solid. I'm not the most into turn-based games, but this does work for me. Some of the problems I have, like there's a character named Lucy. Okay, she summons the celestial zodiac spirits. Okay, the 12 zodiac. Now, some of them, they actually made a character model. Like, they'll come in, they'll, like, punch the enemies and stuff. Okay, cool. Some of them, it just shows a picture of them, and it has an attack off screen. So, like, some of the moves have a lot of effort and animation into them. But some of them feel pretty darn weak, and some of them are kind of annoying that they happen off screen. So there's multiple elements of magic and stuff that you can pick from. And each one has resistances and weaknesses, kind of like Pokemon, to each other. And that can really mix things up, and especially knowing what weaknesses are. But the game is pretty generous on letting you know what the weaknesses are, because if you're on the PS4, you can hit the touchpad, and it'll tell you what the weakness of that person is. So you got your basic attacks. They really don't do much damage. Then you got your magic attacks, which are pretty diverse, and especially since you got 16 playable characters. And each of them have a pretty big move list, I will say that. You got like an all-out attack, which chains between all your members of your party. And then you got bigger attacks like the Unison Raids, and I think it was called Extreme Magic. Those are your big all-out attacks, and some of them can actually save you if you get low on health. You get characters at a pretty solid pace, like at about an hour and a half into the game, you get about 6 characters. So they give them to you through like special request missions and stuff. Now, some areas can look really, really pretty in this game, like areas like Magnolia and the Fairy Tale Guild. And it's cool as like a fan to be able to like walk around them, because normally you're just seeing like a 2D animation. Now you get to see them in 3D space and you can walk around. Very cool. But I don't know if this problem was because of budget or what problem it was. But there's only like 3 to 4 NPCs in the game. Like, it's kind of absurdly stupid when you see how little NPCs are in the game. Like, not like main characters. I'm saying like just random person in the village, you know? One example I had when I was in Magnolia, which is the main town in Fairy Tale, there was about 6 of the same girl on screen at the same time, like in the town. It's like, why is there so little NPCs? I don't get it. I'm sure it was probably a budget thing, but with the amount of delays they had, like, you couldn't make more than like 3 or 4 NPCs, really? To upgrade your guild and stuff, you're gonna need to collect items and stuff, and that's really boring because it's just like glowing spots on the ground, and you don't know what item exactly you're picking up. I'm sure like some areas it's like, oh, this item's only in this area, but it's like, it's a glowy spot on the ground. I don't know if I'm picking up dirt, water, prunes, or whatever. That gets pretty boring. Some of the side quests are not the most entertaining. You know, most of them are just go kill this bad guy, or go, someone lost their mail, go deliver it to it. So it's a lot of fetch quests and stuff. The main stuff, I mean, obviously the main story, those battles are pretty big. The animations are nice. That's good. That's solid. But side quests, not the most entertaining of all time. Overall, I think the game is very enjoyable for Fairy Tale fans. You'll probably find something you like in it. If you're someone that hasn't watched the series or is new to it, you might get confused on the game, especially where the game opens. If you're a new fan, you're gonna have no idea what's going on. And it doesn't do the biggest job of explaining what's happening. If you're a fan, you're definitely going to find something maybe to enjoy in this game. You might not love everything. I haven't loved everything. But if you're new, you might find some things confusing, but maybe give it a try. Anyways, that's a Before You Buy, where I give you some pros, some cons, and some personal opinions about the latest games releasing. Thanks for watching.